Yo. So, I'm going to do a review of a band that I don't actually own any of the records. Now, some of you may think that's stupid. And I've been over this. I don't have the kind of fucking money that everybody else does to run around and buy records. It's just that simple. The power of Apple Music has allowed me to be able to go listen to the music and do a ranking. So I'm going to. So this is going to be on the Black Dahlia Murder. Over the last year or so, I've really taken a liking to these guys. The only real, what I did was I went and just got a hits on, or essentials, playlist. And then I decided, nope, I think I'm going to go and get every album, put it on a playlist, and away I go. So, 9 studio albums. They are Brandon Ellis on lead guitar, and he joined in 2016 and is to the present day the guitar player still, and now current producer. I will get to that after. Drummer Alan Cassidy, 2012 to the present day. Bassist Max Lavelle from 2012 is at the same time as Alan to the present day. And then we have the two longest tenured members, Brian Eschbach from 2001 to present day, and my personal favorite new vocal, or my personal fucking favorite vocalist over the last, I would say probably out of a bunch of the vocalists that are out there, in this current day and age, Trevor Sternad on vocals, 2001 to present day. Trevor has a mix of growls and a really high sort of shriek, and his ability to sing at such a rapid pace and not fuck up is absolutely insane. I mean, I do not know where he developed that ability to do that. I mean, yeah, there's Tom Araya that can do it, but I mean, drop my cap. Tom could do it, but Tom really only ever did it like the once on Ditto Head and like a couple other tracks, but Trevor it literally just comes out of his mouth so fast. It's like, what is he saying? So if you don't have the lyrics in front of you, you might be screwed. So let's get on to it, shall we? Since I've been waffling on like a babbling idiot for 3 minutes or more. So number 9, like I said, I don't have this. So if you want to know what the album covers look like, unfortunately, you're going to have to Google it, because I don't have an editor, because I don't have many subs, and I'm not doing this for a living. So at number 9, we have Unhallowed, which is their debut record from June 17th of 2003. This was produced by Mike Hasty. I'm going to basically give the dates, the producers, and then when you're going to see me, you might see this a little bit. That's just me flipping my paper to talk about the songs that I really dug the most. So on this here, and I guess I should, before I get too far into this, the thing about the Black Dahlia Murder is that a lot of people call them a deathcore band. I think that's absolute fucking shit. I would slot them either in metalcore, new wave, and I don't even want to say new wave of American metal, but the biggest thing that I would actually call them is melodic death metal, or death metal as a whole, because there's a lot of blast beats, the guitar work is frantic, the bass is just as frantic, and Trevor goes back and forth, like I say, between a high shriek and a low guttural vocal. Now, on Unhallowed, so songs like The Blackest Incarnate, Closed Casket Requiem, and of course the title track. With his vocal, you've got that low guttural thing, sort of like Bill Steer, but you've also got, he was really in, I mean, he's obviously influenced by a lot of bands. One of the big bands he's obviously influenced by is Carcass, and then another one, and I'll show the vinyl for that because I have it. I just gotta dig it out. Whatever I did with it. Where did I put it? Oh, I'm getting to it. Oh, wait. I don't know what I did with it. Anyways, influenced by At the Gates and mostly Slaughter of the Soul from my recollection and interviews. So apologies for that. So moving on to number 8, and that is coming in at, obviously, coming in at number 8, we have July 12th, 2005, Miyasma, I think it is, or Miyasma. Not even sure how to even properly pronounce that. This was actually produced by Andreas Magnusson. And the one thing I will also state too is that they've had a lot of lineup changes. So the thing about this is that there's, you know, songs like Dave Goes to Hollywood and Statutory Ape. Again, there's a lot of melody, there's a lot of powerful riffing. The riffs are frantic. The vocals again are frantic, really, really pronounced, really powerful. It goes between the shriek and the growl, and of course they're also, you know, they have so many different influences that they're all put into one melting pot, and that's what you get with the Black Dahlia. There's not a whole lot of changes between these records, and the big thing is that what I will state for the most part is the production is completely different through each one. Now on this here, like I said, Andreas Magnusson was the producer of that. When we get into number 7, which I'm going to tap into, the album called Everblack. This was released June 11th of 2013. This was produced by a man called Jason Sukhov. Jason Sukhov is actually the producer on a lot of their records. So I'll go back to this here. What I want to tap into, pretty much Into the Everblack was a good track. Outside of that, it really didn't stick with me. But when I listened to it, it's again, it's going to be the same. Like it's almost like they're almost like AC/DC in the sense that they write a lot of the same sort of, like everything. People could be like, well, it all sounds the same. Well, yeah, because that's their brand. It's melodic death metal. Death metal. There's blast beats. There's killer riffs. The vocals are screams and growls. It's that simple. But the songwriting is fucking immense. And this was very hard for me to rank because, much like Death, there's not a bad record. I just have to put a number beside it. The only one that I would actually really probably not listen to as much again is Everblack. Even though I had that higher than Miyasma and Unhallowed. That one just really didn't sit with me, but I really like the production on it. Which was, as I say, by Jason Sukhov. And Jason Sukhov, it seems like he's going forward, you're going to notice that some of his production is far higher in the ranking. So number 6, we have Abysmal, and this was released in September 18th of 2015. Now this one here was produced by Mark Lewis, who is also on here again one other time. No, 2 other times, and also with Ryan Bart Williams. And so highlights on that is Vlad, Son of the Dragon, and Asylum, and Abysmal, the title track as well. So again, with each record since Miyasma and before it, a lot of the production gets stupendous. The songwriting is sort of the same, in that same vein, but it's just their technicality only gets stronger, basically. Moving into number 5, we have Deflore It. This came out September 15th of 2009. Again, Jason Suecof, Mark Lewis. And when you and the thing with this is when you listen to these records, they get better and better and better, especially in the production. And the thing about it is that the production, ever since Miyasma, it's fucking awesome. And and that's not to knock on, Mike Hasty or Andreas Magnuson. It just, they sound better. It's a more bombastic style of what the Black Dahlia Murder has the ability to fucking do. Deflore It, so basically Throne of Lunacy and Eyes of a Thousand, top tier tracks on that album for me. But again, like I say, in the discography, there's not a fucking dud. So moving on to number 4, we have Verminus. This was released on April 17th, 2020. And this is when Brandon Ellis takes over as the producer. And it also says here, also on guitar, which, yes, as of 2016. So basically after the Abysmal record is when he come in. Now, they had a guy by the name of Ryan, I believe, was their lead guitar player, and he handpicked Brandon Ellis to be the guitar player. So they worked with him, worked while writing the music going forward. So next up we have so songs on Verminus would be Dawn of Rats, Sunless Empire, and of course, Removal of the Oaken Stake. That one there, even and the big thing about Verminus is that this would be what you would classify their South of Heaven. There's fast songs, there's slower songs, but it's all still the Black Dahlia. They're just one of those bands that no matter what they put out, it's all going to be fucking gold. Okay. Like I say, the only one that I probably wouldn't listen to as much is Everblack, but because Everblack has really good production on it, it's hard for me to not put it higher than the debut and the sophomore. So when we move on to the top 3, now for some dumb reason I didn't decide to put the year of release, but that's okay. So we have Ritual, which was out June 21st, and when I listen to Ritual, I find the gutturals are really low and the screams are high as hell. And the producer, and I believe the producer was Jason Suecof on that. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. So you're looking at The Raven, Blood in the Ink, and Conspiring with the Damned. And the best part about Conspiring with the Damned is right off the hop, that's the first thing you hear is Trevor go, conspiring with the damned. And he's just fucking screaming, and it's killer. And then they, of course, go into their, what I call patented Black Dahlia, amazing songwriting. So now we're down to 2. So for those who are fans, know basically the last 2, because they're the only 2 that I have not mentioned clearly. Number 2 is Nightbringers. October 16th of 2017. This was actually done by Brian Slagle, who was an executive producer, and Jacob Hansen did the mix and the mastering. So obviously Suecof wasn't around at that point, which I kind of found to be weird, but at the same time I think they were just not really sure who they wanted to have produce. And of course, Brandon did a lot of, Brandon's probably going to be the guy at the board going forward. On Nightbringers was probably one of my first favorites that I heard until I get to the next one, which you guys probably know by now. Kings of the Night World, Matriarch. So Kings of the Night World, Of God and Serpents, those have been my latest 2 favorites. But the first 2 that I heard the most were Matriarch and Widowmaker. Widowmaker is just, it was the first one that I heard from that record, and it absolutely kicks ass. You've got, the guitar work is getting better. The drumming is getting much faster I don't even know how you're able to get them blast beats as fast. And Trevor really has found that high shriek to the point where it's almost like he doesn't even have to put any extra effort into, he's not having to overshoot it. He can literally just look at you and just kind of do this and just just it almost looks like he's just moving his mouth, and the scream is still powerful. Practice makes perfect, and warm-ups apparently. He at one point in like the first couple records, he really didn't even know how to properly scream. But over time, he's gotten better, the band's gotten better, and the production on this is really thick, really powerful, and it's loud too. So obviously this leads to my number one being from 2007, released September 18th, Nocturnal. This has a Brian Slagle as the executive producer, but and of course Jason Sukoff is on here as well. This whole album absolutely kicks ass from start to finish. 2 songs, Virally Yours and Climatic Degradation, are 2 of my favorites. But without a doubt, my favorite track as a whole, no other song that they have put out is better than What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse. That just that and then so you can hear sort of the guitar slowly coming in, and it seems really muffled, and then it gets louder, and then they just start coming in, pounding away, and then when Trevor starts singing, it's game over. I'm hooked. I was actually hooked from the intro riff, and then once they kicked in, it was powerful, and then Trevor just that rapid fire sort of display that he always has. The songwriting on this was excellent. I just think it's their best that they've ever put out, and that's not to knock every other record, because as I said, there's not a dud on here, but with this here in Nocturnal, production sounds perfect. Lyrically, it's killer. Everything, it's just executed very, very fucking well. So that's it, guys. I'm hoping we can get some views on this here. Not everybody is a big fan of the Black Dahlia. I personally am. But hey, what are we gonna do? So that's basically it. I'm gonna continue to listen to these guys for a while, and I can't wait to hear what they come up with next. Keep it fucking heavy, guys. We'll see you soon.